Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Ida tappati pecha tappati papakari ubhayatta tappati papang me katanti tappati biyo tappati duggating gatoti. Venerable Chief Nayaka Hamduru, friends and children in the Dhamma, welcome for our Saturday Dhamma talk. Devadatta was the cousin or the brother-in-law of Bodhisattva Gautama Siddhartha. Devadatta was the brother to Yasodhara, wife of Prince Siddhartha. Devadatta means given by gods, such a beautiful name. But this name was totally destroyed, for this particular person was doing such evil deeds, evil, unwholesome deeds, heinous crimes against Buddha, that no one ever wanted to adopt this name Devadatta after this person. When Buddha was visiting his hometown, Devadatta was one of the Shakyan princes who came to the Buddha and requested the Buddha to ordain them. So Devadatta became a monk. In the early days of his monkhood was alright. He learnt the technique, the method to practice meditation. He learnt Dhamma and he practiced. He developed jhanas. He developed meditative absorptions and he could perform miracles. Yet as time passed by, his greed started coming onto the surface. His evil tendencies started surfacing, developing. And he was so jealous of the Lord Buddha for the attention that the Buddha got wherever he went. Thousands gathered around Buddha. Hundreds became his monastic followers. Men, women, equally started flocking around Buddha. And he was so jealous of this. Out of this jealousy, he started creating situations for the Buddha to give up his leadership on the monastic community. He went to the Buddha and said, "You see, Bhagavan, you are getting old. You are no more young. You cannot lead this community. You are no more suitable for the head of this community. I am young, I am strong, I can easily become the leader. Buddha asked Devadatta, who told you that I am leading this community? I am not the leader. They themselves are their leaders. Attahi attano nato. You are your own leader is what Buddha always say. So I am not leading them. I am not their president, ruler, monitor. I just guide them. I am their guide, that's all. But Devadatta was very unhappy. He complained, confronted against the Buddha, and Buddha had to ask him to get out of the current community. Kind of banished him because he was a disturbance for the peaceful monastic environment. He is protesting against the Buddha, saying that he is much more suitable leader. And this banished Devadatta allowed all his suppressed hatred towards the Buddha to come onto the surface. This man was carrying such a deep hatred towards the Bodhisattva from life after life. It was not the first life that he was hateful towards Bodhisattva, towards the Blessed One. During his previous lives, Bodhisattva was followed by this evil man and looking for opportunities to revenge upon him, to destroy him. This is how our samsara works. We are moving in this cycle of birth and death with our friends and also with our enemies. We are here with all these friends and enemies. Time and again, we meet those friends who were friendly to us, supporting to us, being companion with us. They happen to meet time and again in this life. As soon as we meet them, we feel that friendly, convenient, comfortable relationship with them. This is same also for the enemies. Those enemies also happen to come to us. Otherwise, how to revenge on us? How to make our lives difficult if they do not come close to us? So Devadatta, sworn enemy, who was in such a hatred towards the Bodhisattva, no matter how Bodhisattva was trying to be compassionate, being patient towards this man, his hatred was such a deep one, such a strong one. He was dominated by this hatred. As soon as Buddha rejected him, the deep-rooted hatred started becoming a huge tree, becoming powerful, and Devadatta was dominated by this hatred, and he started acting being driven by that hatred. He just tried to kill Buddha. Buddha did not do any such grave harm towards Devadatta. For Devadatta to think that the Buddha's existence must be stopped, he must be killed, he did not do much. But his hatred was such. Little pinch was enough for such a great hatred to rise surface. 3 times Devadatta tried to kill Buddha. Once he sent archers to kill Buddha, but those archers became Buddha's followers. They could not shoot any arrow towards the Buddha. Then he sent a drunken elephant called Nalagiri. This elephant, king's elephant, was given 16 pots of toddy, at that time the liquor, and this drunken elephant was unleashed towards the Buddha. But the Buddha's love, compassion, metta was such powerful. Nalagiri couldn't harm Buddha. And then Devadatta, he himself climbed onto the mount of Gijjakuta, and he rolled a huge boulder towards the Buddha, who is pacing up and down underneath the mountain. But this rolling stone, rolling boulder could not harm. Only a piece of rock broken from this huge boulder hit the Buddha's big toe and wound that big toe. That's the only harm he could do. So he wounded the Buddha. He shed blood of the Buddha. So he did the first heinous crime. Then Devadatta again, for the sake of getting power, becoming powerful, he broke 500 newly ordained young monks from the community and took them into his monastery. But he was not successful in this case, because Buddha's chief disciples, Sariputta and Moggallana, these 2 chief disciples went there and opened their eyes to the truth, and these 5 monks just followed Venerable Sariputta and Moggallana, and they came back to the mother community. Likewise, at every instant, Devadatta was trying to defeat Buddha, to make his life difficult, to kill him. He was completely failed. He was completely failed. And he was getting old. When he was getting old, he started becoming remorseful, becoming regretful about his deeds in the past. This is what happened. Being drunk by the youth, by the strength given in the youth, for 2 or 3 decades, our life is strong, our body is strong, and we think this strength will last forever. We never see our grandparents, our elders, who have spent few decades how weak they have become, how sickly they are now. We never imagined that we ourselves going to be like them one day. Sooner or later it is going to happen to us also. Happen to anybody. This strength is not forever. This beauty is temporary. This power is not everlasting, not eternal. These are temporary energies, temporary powers, temporary blessings of the life. So we should never misuse the strength to generate misery for others. You are given strength to do something beautiful for this world. Not to make this world uglier than you found it, but to make it more beautiful than you found it. That's what is this strength meant for you. But most of the time, we get drunk, we get blinded by temporary blessings, and we think these are going to last forever. I am going to be young forever. There is no any ignorance higher than this. This is the greatest ignorance that one can maintain. Devadatta did the same thing. In his youth, in his young age, in his strength, in his power, in his ego, pride, he committed all those crimes, and in the old age he is repenting. He is remorseful, but it is too late. But he still wanted to ask forgiveness from Buddha. He requested his associates to take him to the Buddha, to the feet of the Buddha. Those associates told him, your whole time in the monastery you spent making plots upon plots, making plans upon plans to destroy Buddha, to kill him. And you are asking us to bring you there now? Are you not shameful? Are you not afraid the way Buddha will treat you? The followers of the Buddha will treat you? Aren't you afraid? Then he said, I know Buddha. He is never hateful, angry towards me. His compassion is parallel to his son and to me, to his killers, to his lovers. His compassion, his love is just the same. I know him. I am pretty sure. I am absolutely sure that the Buddha still loves me. He still loves me. He is still compassionate towards me. Please bring me there. So those supporters, putting him on a bed, a palanquin, was carrying him to the monastery. Before the monastery, there was a pond in front of the Jetavana monastery. And he asked those assistants to keep the palanquin in front of that pond so that he can freshen himself. he can wash himself. As soon as his feet touch the ground, it says, he was sunk in the ground and was born in hell, in the Niraya, in Apaya. When the monks heard this, they reported this incident to Lord Buddha. Buddha said, Ida tappati pecha tappati papakari ubhayat tappati papam me katante tappati piyo tappati duggating gatoti. Ida tappati. One burns here. Pecha tappati. One burns hereafter. Hereafter can be tomorrow, day after tomorrow, in the future, or after this life, in the next life. So one burns here and one burns hereafter. Ida tappati, pecha tappati. Who is the one burning here and hereafter? Papakari, the evil doer, is the one who burns here, hereafter. Now, this word tappati is very significant. At what points you get burnt? It is not about being burnt from external sources, from others. It is not about being burnt by somebody else. It is to burn spiritually, burning in the mind. Your brother burns you. Close your eyes when you're angry. Close your eyes and become silent and feel that burn within you. And this burn leads you to burn somebody else. If somebody else burns you with wicked words and wicked actions, evil words, rude words, and rude actions, if somebody else burning you, always look at that person. He is unaware. She is ignorant about their burning within. They are not understanding what kind of torment, misery, suffering that they are going through within. They only know to burn others. Buddha compares this to someone who pick up a burning charcoal and throwing at somebody else. Who burns first? You burn first, because you touch a burning ember, and then the one who get the hit burns. But you burns first. Only ones who are burning can burn somebody else. We are being burned by our anger, jealousy, misery, worry, sadness. We are being burned almost every day. And we do not know the art of observing it, the art of witnessing, observing, responding to that burn. All we know is when we are burning to burn somebody else. Only a sad person makes somebody else sad. Only a depressed, angered, somebody who is suffering within can make somebody else suffering. I have witnessed this. I have observed this. When somebody is being rude to me, I just observe that person. I can see what kind of misery that person is going through. And instead of becoming angry towards that person, when I observe this, when I watch this, I feel sorry for that person. But if I am not watchful, what happened? His abusive words and action pave the way for my anger to rise, for my hatred to rise, for my misery to rise. Because I am not being watchful. So what happened? Fire gathers together. They become fire, a big fire, and they are both being burnt. In Sri Lanka, we saw these horrendous sights, that the people burning those houses, others' homes. It is not just a house, it is a home for many. Burning somebody's home is not something forgivable, because it is there that they felt secure, safe, happy, joyful. It is there they raised their kids. It is there they invested their whole life, and you burnt them. What kind of human beings are they? And when we look at them, we feel they are the worst type of human beings. But just look at them. Look at those people. To burn somebody's home, what kind of fire they must be having inside within them. They are frustrated. They are depressed. They are being tormented day in, day out with the lack of basic needs. Their kids are in hunger. Their kids are not getting even the basic needs. They feel that they don't have a future. They are frustrated. And they are burning within, in anger, in hatred. And it is their fire within is what paved the way, led them to burn somebody's house. They did not know that they are suffering within. They were not aware. They were not mindful. When you look at in that manner, you don't feel angry towards them. You feel sorry for them. Because what they did was a cause for them to suffer more. When that inner fire is gone, when the calmness, quietness happened, as time passed by, can they ever become happy about their action of that burning somebody's house, somebody's home? No. They are bound to burn later, bound to burn themselves. With what? Papang me katanti tappati. I have done evil before their deathbed, before their final sleep, before their death. They are going to be tormented within with the memory, haunting of this memory in their minds. They are bound to torment themselves. I have done such a horrendous evil action. This memory will torment them in such a manner, it will create a hell on this earth. A hell for them. While living in the human life itself, they will go through hell because of this memory. This memory will never become a joy, a blissful memory. This is a hellish memory. This is a burning memory. And the real scene, real misery starts when they are born in Duggati. Now there are two gatis, Sugati, Dugati. Sugati, Dugati. They are called sensual, blissful realms, Sugati, and sensually woeful realms, Dugati. The Buddhist universe is so vast. There are a number of realms in one particular existence. It is not that poor. It is immensely rich. And this classification of existences are based on the upgrade or degrade of our consciousness. If our consciousness is to become greater with the spiritual development, according to that spiritual development, our existence, the life that is going to happen also become greater. So therefore there are Brahma realms which are much more blissful, joyful. Then comes the divine realms, human realm. Divine realms, there are 6 divine realms, beginning with Chatu Maharajika, Tavatingsa Yama Tusita Nimma Narati Paranimita Vasavati. These are the divine names of those divine 6 realms. And then comes the human realm. And these 6 divine realms and the human realm together are called Kama Sugati, sensually blissful realms. Then below the human realm are the Kama Dugati. Kama Dugati, translated, it means sensually woeful realms. The suffering is much more prominent there than the joy, than the bliss. They are hell, Niraya, animal kingdom, Tirachana Yoni, then the sphere of Petas, Petti Visaya, then the host of Asuras, Asurakaya. Yeah? And even Among these hellish realms, there are differences. There are different realms in accordance with the gravity of the suffering that they go through. Even the hell, there are 168 types of hell surrounded in the 8 great hells. What are these 8 great hells? Sanjeeva, Kalasutta, Sanghata, Roruva, Maharoruva, Tapana, Mahatapana, Avichi. Yeah. Around these great 8 hells, there are minor hells. So, Buddhist universe is so vast. It is all based on your consciousness and its upgrade or degrade. You upgrade your consciousness, your rebirth is to be in higher elevated realms. If you move from the attachment for sense pleasures to the detachment of sense pleasures with the meditation, that meditative development will lead you go beyond the realms of sense pleasures to the Brahma worlds. Being born in the Brahma realms happened due to your meditative development, meditation. Yeah. If you happen to commit the crimes as a habitual pattern, habit patterns, if you happen to generate unwholesome deeds such as killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, slandering, harsh words, gossiping, yeah, being drunk, and if you happen to commit those evil deeds, if they become a habit pattern, naturally your tendency is to be born in one of the hells. Even the animal realm is one of the hell. Suffering is much more evident there than the bliss, than the joy. So Buddha says, those who burn themselves and then burn others are going to be immensely burnt when they are born in the hellish realms. Papakari, that evil doer. Bhiyo tappati duggatingato, when he is going to be burnt immensely. Bhiyo tappati duggatingato, duggati, that woeful realms, when he is born in one of those woeful realms, hells, animal kingdom, sphere of Petas and the host of Asuras. When one of the hellish realm becomes your home as the next life, you are going to be suffering immensely. So at cost, do not utilize, we should not utilize our blessings for evil deeds. We are enjoying a blessed life. Just imagine, aren't you having a blessed life? If you compare yourself with people who have a little bit more than you, then you will think, I am a miserable person, sad person. I am someone who is suffering while others are enjoying their lives. You compare yourself with the people who have little bit more than you, but you forget there are billions in the world who don't have what you have. while there is a roof over your head to protect you from snow, from rain, from this heat. There are billions in this world who never had a roof over their head, who were born on the road, who lived on the road, who died on the road. Even in this United States, hundreds of thousands of people on the roads, homeless. And you think you are not blessed? You are unfortunate? If you are capable of feeding yourself for 3 meals, remember you are fortunate than millions in the world who don't have that opportunity to feed themselves. Even 1 meal a day. If you have a beautiful dress, if you are secured with the basic requirements, it means you are blessed. And forget about everything. You can see, you can talk, you can hear, you can think, you can walk. Aren't these blessings for you? There are millions and millions who are born blind, deaf, crippled, mute. Totally their dream, seeing a beautiful sunset, enjoying music, behaving like a normal human being can be their dream that will never come into realization. A dream that they never realize. Aren't you blessed? So our life is a blissful one. Only thing, we are blind to that bliss. We are deaf to that bliss. We are ignorant about that bliss. We worry about those small stuff that are missing in our lives. Let them go. Let them go. And see how blissful, how joyful your life is. Our problem is that we crave for things which are never going to come to us. If we give up these cravings and enjoy, open your eyes to what you have, you can find the joy in your life. Joy is a byproduct of being contented with what we have. Joy is not something, happiness is not something that we can find directly. It is an indirect product. It happens. It happens when we are joyful, when we are grateful for what we have. This contentment is a blessing. There are so many things to be contented. Find them. Be grateful to them. Be thankful to them. Happiness will be your byproduct. We are living a joyful life. So don't let the reasons to torment within burn within. If you are burning within, don't respond. Don't share that burning with others. Observe burning. Don't make others' lives burn with your burning. Observe that burning. Understand that you are burning. And let the time extinguish that burning. Because with your burning, whatever you do can be a burning for others. In your misery, you can only share your misery. You can make others miserable. So be mindful not to make others miserable. What you have to do is just be mindful about your own misery. If you are happy, can a happy person make somebody else miserable? Impossible. Only a miserable person can make somebody else miserable. So when you are miserable, keep silent. Don't give your misery to others and make their lives miserable. I'm not talking about sharing. I mean talking to somebody else when you are unhappy. Sometimes when somebody else listens to your problem, you are unburdened. It is something else. What I am saying is, don't make others miserable. And only when you are miserable, you can make somebody else miserable. Only when you are burning idatappati, you can make somebody else burning. With our words, with our actions, we do that. Buddha says, don't do that. Then your burning becomes bigger and bigger. And you will burn here, hereafter. And in the both lives you are burning. You are in suffering. You are in misery. And when you are gone into those hellish realms, you are consistently suffering there. Because suffering is the state in those hellish realms. Idha tappati, peccha tappati, pakari ubhayatta tappati. Here burns hereafter. The evil doer burns in both the places. Papang me katanti tappati. He burns being remorseful about his evil deeds. Bhiyo tappati duggating gatoti. When he is gone to hellish realms, he is bhiyo tappati. He is being tormented, being burnt immensely. Thank you. Thank you very much for listening. Let's share these merits together with our devas, protecting guardian deities, and together with our departed ones, our ancestors, forefathers, all those beloved ones who are no more. Let's share these merits. Akasatta cha bummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu loka sasanang. Akasatta cha bummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu desanang. Akasatta cha bummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkang tumam paranti. Idam me ñātinam hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñātinam hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idamme jnatinam hotu Sukhita hontu jnatayo. Blessings for you. Dukkha roga bhayavera soka sabbe upaddava Anekantarayapi vinassantu ca tejasa Jaya siddhidanang labhang sotti bhagyam sukham balang Siriyayu ca vannu ca bhogang uddhi ca yasava Satavasaja ayu ca jiva siddhi bhavantu te Ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha Ato nibbana sampatti iminate samijjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good night, everybody.